This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean, and Angela Barnes is with us today. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, or you can email the show via frank at Absolute Radio.
Morning.
How about that for my new warm, friendly voice? I'm working on that.
I quite like it.
Like treacle.
Can I tell you a story? Let me tell you a story. I went to pick my child up from school yesterday, and his classroom is on the ground floor, very glass-fronted, as classrooms sometimes are, so you can see in. And as I approach from the front gate, I could see they got the big telly on in their classroom. As I got a bit closer, they were watching the new Three Lions video, the whole class. So I went up and just stood against the glass with my hands raised. And the children started pointing at me like, hold it. Yeah. And
Thank goodness they recognised you.
I know, yeah, exactly. I was already being carried away by security before don't you see that? So anyway, then the teacher called me in. I went in, watched and at the end of it, everybody applauded.
Oh, that's so lovely.
It was so sweet, and I felt really up and excited. And then the whole thing was brought down by, as I walked back to the car with my child, he said, that was great. He said it was like you were a big celebrity again.
Oh, out of the mouths of babes.
Oh, no! Oh.
It could have gone the other way. That at least he was proud of you. Because I don't know, if my
Angela
dad
was
had come
proud
into
of
my
me.
classroom, I
He was
might have
proud
been
of me
embarrassed.
temporarily.
Angela, that's so kind of you.
Yeah, it was.
But
That was
I'm
lovely.
not convinced.
That was lovely to try and lift me up. But this is the cowboy film where I say, no, I'll go on without me. I can't. It was only rescued by, in the car journey, he said to me, he said, I won't name the child, but one of his friends said, I think your dad's got an amazing voice. She said, but I don't like that other man's.
Oh.
That helped a bit.
Did he mean David or Ian?
I'm sure he meant Ian.
Do you know, I found it oddly reassuring. I quite liked it when it kicks
Exactly.
it.
Kids don't appreciate the sort of Lee Marvin growl.
When it kicked in, David's voice, I loved it. Because I thought, will it always be the same? Will it be the same as it was? And it was, and I loved it.
Absolutely true. When
Yeah.
I first heard it played back and his voice come in, I just thought all is well with the world.
So did I.
Yeah.
I felt it made me happy and reassured.
When I watched the video, it took me a while to realise, because the video's quite clever. It's got the sort of old original video, and you guys now superimposed on. And at first, I hadn't realised.
It's a terrible example of like two young men, and then their older version. I tell you what, it's the sort of it's our version of the Johnny Cash Hurt video, the sort of last will and testament. Sorry, Angela, carry on.
No, I was just saying, when I first saw David on it was young David, but I hadn't realised that's what it was, and I just thought, gosh, doesn't he look young now? He shaved his beard off.
Yeah.
And then the old David Cameron was like, oh no.
Oh no.
Sorry, David, I didn't mean it like that.
It's out now. Oh no.
Oh no.
No, but that.
Frank, what about when we watched it with your Kath? Oh, come on. Frank showed it to me. I can reveal this now.
I gave Emily a unpolished version that we watched together at our house.
What did I do? What was my reaction?
Emily really cried.
Oh.
I mean, the tears were flowing.
She hates bad CGI. She just can't handle it.
I seen young David, and we watched it, and I was sobbing. It was very moving, actually, Tableau. Frank took a picture of me crying, a bit strange, and sent it to David.
I've got a big collection of women crying from over the years.
And Kath's first reaction, she said, wow, David looks amazing.
Yeah, and then we waited and nothing else came out.
And then she said, Oh, well, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about David. I said, I think that's maybe the issue.
Yes, exactly. It was so it's been an emotional ups and downs thing. I was going to say emotional rolling coaster, but I thought if I ever say that, take me outside and shoot me through both knees. But yeah, so that thing, it was brilliant walking into the room. Like, what's the chances of that happening? Timing, everything in this business.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
There's some lovely acting in the Three Lions.
My personal favourite moment is the bucket of custard.
Oh, come on.
How many times did you have to stick your arm in that bucket of custard?
I think
That question to Frank Skinner.
Yeah, that's a good question. Don't ask me anything that involves remembering on air.
Yeah.
I think that might have been the second go. Because we weren't... see, that it's a repeat. You know, it's a repeated thing. I did it originally with a cantaloupe. But because this was a Christmas thing, we couldn't resist the spherical Christmas pudding. But the big debate was with or without holly. Do I have to take the holly off before? You know what? We just let the holly be.
Yeah. I think that really identifies it as a Christmas pudding.
It goes in a Christmas pudding, and goddamn, it comes out a Christmas pudding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, what I like, it's a lovely...
I should say, by the way, that everyone is talking... This is... I did a football song 20-odd years ago, and we've just re-released just a new version of it. And the video came out yesterday. In case you're thinking, what is all this about? Okay.
There's a bit at the start, and it's a lovely... It's almost Mike Lee, the subtlety of the performance. I like it. Frank is... It's a beautiful little vignette. He's there's an England jacket on the... Sort of on the coat, you're putting it on the hook, aren't you? And he just touches the fabric and looks to camera very wistfully as it starts. And thoughtfulness.
That apparently is actually Roger Hunt's England jacket. Roger Hunt, who played in the '66 World Cup final. Yeah, well, he played in the '66 World Cup final.
Wow, and that's actually his.
That was actually his jacket brought in by somebody.
And can I say, attention must also be paid to David Baddiel's door answering face. Beautiful, very authentic. It's exactly how he looks when he answers the door to me.
Yes.
Not thrilled.
He doesn't. The only thing that I'm anxious about in the whole video is when Dave gestures in the carol singers. There's a slight element of... Do you remember at school when you used to scratch your face with two fingers in a sort of a... This is a rude gesture, but I'm hiding it. There's a slight element of that which unsettles me. Other than that...
Now I'm going to have to look for that next time I watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you like it, because we got interviewed by The Guardian on Thursday, and The Guardian man...
I like the Guardian man.
He tore us apart because the song wasn't more political.
What? Did he?
Why should it be? It's a Christmas football song.
I know, but you know.
Well, Ruth Jordan...
And then I looked at... Hold on. So I looked at The Guardian first page today. Massive thing, will Qatar ruin brand Beckham? Because Beckham's going to Qatar. So I thought, Top third of the page, World Cup 2022, your definitive guide. Free 36-page supplement in The Guardian. The cake has arrived and it is also being eaten.
Yes, sounds like it.
Yeah. What is The Guardian of nowadays? Hypocrisy!
The Guardian, a.k.a. Pick a Lane, will you?
Yeah, come on, pick a lane!
Well,
yes.
Ruth Jordan, one of our regulars.
Morning, son.
Lovely when you switch on breakfast radio and hear how many times did you have to stick your arm in that bucket of custard?
Yeah.
That is quite a non sequitur. I realised as soon as I said it that anyone who hasn't seen the video
no.
what on earth I'm talking about.
In case you've never seen it, it's the thing I've done before, is if you put a spherical object like a cantaloupe in one hand and dip it in custard, and then hold it upright when it comes out, it looks like the World Cup.
Yeah. Very effective.
Yeah, I try it at home. But check with Mum.
No,
or Dad. Okay, whatever you've got. A parent, a guardian, a ward. If you're their ward, if you are the ward of a guardian.
Not a guardian.
Not
please.
the guardian.
They get confused.
Check with whoever pays for the cantaloupe.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So look, Angela Barnes is with us this morning, and she did me a big favour recently. But I promised we'd keep that between ourselves.
Just don't tell the papers.
Exactly. She tipped me off to a good hearing aid company. Yes, old people, this section is for you. No, it's not. It's not all old people, obviously.
Should we have some music for this section? I like this section.
Okay, but it's going to be loud. I'll tell you what happened is that Angela recommended a company to me, and I took my mother-in-law in, and I thought, 80th birthday, I'm going to get her geared up with some hearing tools.
Look, when you say geared up, you're making it sound a bit white snake.
Man, if you saw the gear, though. They had like a giant table with all sorts of equipment on it. It was brilliant. It was a little bit early Doctor Who, which I like. And so I went along, and at the moment, previously on With My Mother-in-Law, the British comedy drama. The nice thing about her hearing issues is that we could criticise her without having to leave the room. And we can't do that anymore because the hearing aids that we had her done with were so good. And there's these lovely people, all love Angela Barnes. It was Angela Barnes this and Angela Barnes that. And so we went and got done, and it was brilliant. Anyway, should I say the name of the company?
That's very much up to whether it's in the rules or not. I don't know,
but they did such a great job. They're called GN Resound.
They're lovely.
They were
lovely
fantastic.
People.
Anyway, that's the point.
I like them because they're quite J.R. Hartley as well.
Yes, so I got my ears tested, and they said, right ear only medium.
Ooh.
Now, I don't need a hearing aid. Apparently, all I need to do is cup my right hand and hold it just behind the ear.
When's your birthday? I'm going to get you an ear trumpet.
Oh, that would be... I would love the ear trumpet.
Yeah. I think it would suit you, Frank.
Yeah, I think it would as well. Because I think you could use it... Maybe you could go up to an ice cream van and say you wouldn't mind slopping one in here, would you? Because I'd have it eaten before it reached the smaller spout.
Are the ear trumpets, are they like sort of cornets or something? Are they long? Are they...
Yeah, sort of long cone shape that you stick in your ear.
I don't know if they still use them. But I actually said to the lady, I saw it to... because there were three ladies. And
Did they like it?
And I said, look, I'll be honest, it's not such a problem with me, a bit of hearing loss, because when I'm in company, it tends to be me who's doing the talking. And I said, if anyone else does talk, and I don't catch it, it's fine, because generally what other people say, I can take it or leave it.
Wow.
And I said it like that, and I let them sit for like 20 seconds. I've completely accepted that as me being serious before I said, no, I am joking. But obviously there is some truth in it.
Yeah.
So they work. Thank you, Angela. They're working great. She's not picking up a local cab company, which I always imagined happened with the hearing aids.
It makes me so happy because we have such a sort of stigma about hearing aids. Like if you can't see, you wear glasses. People don't really think about it, but get your ears tested and make your lives better.
Well, Johnny Ray, who's a singer I love from the 50s, he had a hearing aid, and he decided it was getting him quite a bit of sympathy from the females in the audience. So he had a big one made that was about 3 inches across that he wore, because he was worried that the females in the cheap seats weren't catching up his hearing aid. And I tell you what, I was thinking about Johnny Ray, because he had some of the worst nicknames of anyone, because he used to cry on stage.
Oh, is that poor old Johnny Ray?
Yes, it's the same guy. Okay. So he was known as the Nabob of Sob, which is great if you know what a nabob is. It's a sort of Middle Eastern ruler, so not a great one.
Okay.
And the Prince of Wales... But you had to see it written down because it was Wales, as in wailing.
Wales.
Right, yes, of course.
And I just thought I'd ask, what's the worst nicknames that our readers have heard, just rubbish nicknames that didn't quite work and was hard to understand. 8, 12, 15, and relax.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were talking about poor old Johnny Ray off air.
Yes.
And when
Johnny Ray, there was a 50s singer who some people think, although he wasn't a rock and roller, he invented on stage rock and roll with a sort of sensibility. So he would cry, drop to his knees, sometimes writhe on the floor, singing songs.
And I was familiar with it. I hadn't... Frank, maybe you could do the honours as the singer of the group.
Well...
he was made famous to me by the line in the Dexy song...
In Come On Eileen, begins, poor old Johnny Ray sounded sad upon the radio, broke 1,000,000 hearts in mono in my mother's day. So that was,
It's coming home.
I'd never made that connection. I love this show. I always learn something.
Well, can I tell you that I did Johnny Ray on Stars in the Rise?
Did you?
I did.
I thought you did Costello.
No, I did it twice. I did Costello the first time, Johnny Ray second,
Did it
And
twice?
the great thing, of course, is that no one in the audience knew what Johnny Ray sounded like. So I got tremendous applause on the off chance. Yes, I've actually got, I think I can say this on air, I've got a framed letter that Johnny Ray wrote to a fan explaining the terrible mistake that had happened when he'd been arrested in a gentleman's lavatory.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Absolute Radio.
Well,
Rock memorabilia yarns here.
I
on
love your
Absolute Radio.
strategy there, doing someone that there's no...
Well, I did him because I love him. And I
but
thought,
it's a great idea.
but the fact, it never occurred to me that no one else knew who he was, but it soon became very apparent, certainly.
I like
you
the
win?
idea of doing an impression show and say, tonight I will be Geoffrey Chaucer.
I think Boy George won, I think, doing David Bowie.
wow.
Frustrating because he didn't read it. He just did a lovely singing job.
Yeah.
But he wasn't as David Bowie as I was Johnny Ray, let's put it that way.
Woof. But you're not bitter.
No, Johnny Ray probably was a bit. So yeah, if Prince of Wales, the nabob of Sob. I mean, that is asking a lot of people, isn't it? They didn't even have Google then. How do you find out what nabob? Okay.
Frank, we've heard from the outside world.
Good.
Haven't we, Ange?
We have. We've had some lovely tweets.
How are
and
you with
nicknames.
Ange or Angie?
I don't mind. Well, I'm an Angie, really, because I was named after the Rolling Stones song.
Oh, I love named after.
Yeah.
So you say named after Angie.
Yeah.
You don't say named for. You know, some people say that. I'm named for. Of course, one of the most famous now, Suella Braverman,
Yes.
who brilliantly was named after Sue Ellen from
Dallas.
Yeah.
from Dallas. And got a bit embarrassed about it as she got older and decided to be called Suella instead of Sue Ellen. But yeah, she's actually Sue Ellen Braverman.
That's beautiful.
JR would have been better, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
More apt.
And Frank, I was named after.
Oh, I don't know. You were
The
named
Emily from Bagpuss.
No.
The famous Emily, I think. Emily Dickinson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good
History reference,
one.
of course.
That is
Yeah.
Is there any listeners who are named after celebrities? I'd love to hear about it.
I like that my celebrity is Emily Dickinson.
Yeah. Well, Suella Braverman was stretching it.
Well, I'm Angie Bowie, technically.
Oh, I'll tell you another story. Can I tell another? Is there a...
No. No,
Hold on.
no.
Is the Fez out? Where
The
is
Fez
it?
came out.
Yeah, the Fez came
Yeah.
out.
And then it went away again.
Yeah.
How
You
did
can't
that
tell
happen?
any more stories.
In case you don't know, the producer puts down a Fez to say that, shut up. But when I don't know why she takes it away again. Does she say, I've changed her mind, let's not do the adverts? I love the adverts. I know some people don't. It's what I live for.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, you've been asking for our readers, I suppose, just, some examples of nicknames which are specifically...
Just not very good nicknames. Like the nabob of Sob, which is a good nickname if nabob was a commonly used word, which I would say most people's homes it isn't.
I don't know if this one, we might have to disqualify this one on account of it being rather good.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to share it anyway. Steve Burgess, we used to call a bloke called Michael Rowe de Botershaw.
It sounds like a posh surname as well, doesn't it? De Botershaw.
Do you know Hamish de Botershaw?
Yes, exactly. It could be
Of the de Botershaws?
Yeah. It could be, Mike Rowe de Botershaw MP for Chichester. It would be, wouldn't it? Chichester East.
Nice.
If there is such a thing.
I think some of these are a bit too good, aren't they, Em? That's the problem. There's one from Welshie who says, I work with someone we call Wheelbarrow because he only works when pushed.
Okay, you know you're too good. Let's reconsider. I give you Simon. I was a large baby when I was born, 12 pounds, 10 ounces.
That is a large baby.
And my nickname was Baby Elephant,
Okay.
which I objected to greatly.
So long as well, Baby Elephant.
Simon continues, but unfortunately I was unable to voice my displeasure at the time.
I wish you'd said Simon continues.
I had a nickname I was given from birth that stuck to my teens, which was I was known by my parents as Pudding because I was a premature baby and they wrapped me up in, like, swaddled me. And
In
my dad said I
pastry?
looked like in pastry. Yeah.
Oh, the old ways are dying out, Angela.
They just stuck a bit of holly in my head. And
That is quite
they
your
said I
dad.
looked like a little steam pudding.
Yeah.
And that stuck through my entire childhood. I
You
was
don't
Pudding.
really want it in your teens, though, do you?
No, I had to just go, please, can you
don't
stop
wanna
calling
be
me that in front of my friends?
You don't want to be a steam pudding. Frank will be dunking you in that custard.
What a party that could be.
What about Eddie? I had a friend at school called Magazine Head. He looked very much like his head didn't match his body, as if he'd been cut out from a magazine and stuck onto his body.
I bet you that bloke's children now are called Photoshop Head as time moves on in bullying remarks.
Oh dear.
That is, it's good though. I like it.
Angela, what about this? What about Nicky Burke?
Oh, have I missed one? I missed a good one.
A family who lived on the road was referred to as the Americans because they holidayed once in America in the 1980s.
My husband had his friends still take the mickey out of him every Christmas because one Christmas in the early 90s, his parents decided that they would, instead of having a traditional Christmas dinner, that they would have an Italian meal.
Right.
And that they would have Italian Christmas, and his dad made beautiful Italian food. And his friends to this day still every Christmas go, oh, what are you having for Christmas dinner? A lasagna.
It's great how these things stick, isn't it?
Can I say some of these? I mean, Josh Carr, when I was a teenager, I wore a white T-shirt and light blue jeans once. I was called Homer Simpson for 6 months.
He did also have terrible jaundice, though, to be fair.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
May we share with
May
you?
we?
Oh, may we?
By the way, someone said to me of the Three Lions video, how did you get Noddy Holder? He looks great. I said, that's me, it's Noddy Holder.
Do you know, I thought it was Noddy Holder on the first watch. So the second watch, I realised it was you.
Yeah, maybe it's the sort of West Midlands thing. We all look basically the same. Especially in great big lamb chop sideburns. Sorry, Emily.
We have some examples of nicknames.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of unsuccessful nicknames or slightly questionable nicknames. Or Liam McGrath, Sensorlight. They only worked when somebody walked past.
Oh,
nice.
I work with people like that.
I quite
Old George the labourer. George's thing was incredulity. That's how he got away with working. Someone would say, George, do you mind moving those pallets to the third floor, the factory? He'd go, what? Them pallets? They go, yeah, me? You want me to move? And in the end, they'd give up and go. Like it was disbelief was how he. That was how he got through life. Anyway, sorry.
We have some others.
I've got. Well, I found it might be too good again, but I really like it. It's Paul from Liverpool. He says, "My mate was nicknamed Toast." Now I should say no one was hurt.
Okay.
But he said he was nicknamed Toast because when he was young, he got knocked down by the bread van.
Oh wow.
He was fine. Apparently.
I love that.
Oh, bread fans.
We have another Paul. I have a mate whose nickname is Petal because he took a red rose to his only blind date he's ever been on over 40 years ago.
Oh man.
Oh, they won't let you forget, Frank, will they?
It's tremendous, really. That's a sort of oral tradition in action. People get a nickname and then it lasts forever.
And I'd just like to round off this section with Gary Slazenger. I bet he's got some nicknames.
Yeah, I bet he has. I'll rack it.
Yeah.
Worked with John Plowman. He was fondly known as Pub Lunch.
Okay.
Also heard of a guy known as Man Bat, as his real name was Wayne Bruce.
He was known as what?
That's
Man
clever.
Bat, as his real name was Wayne Bruce.
Oh, that's very good.
satisfying.
Man, there ain't no following that. That's sensational.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, God, that's really raised me up.
Has it?
Oh.
Anyway, what have you been up to, Angela Barnes, in your crazy comedy life?
Well, I thought about you this week, Frank, because I did a gig at a school. That's not why I thought about you, but it was called Christ's Hospital. Have you ever been to Christ's Hospital School? It's in Sussex.
I haven't been, but I think it was significant in my TV watching history.
Ooh.
If I'm right, do they wear long robes and like yellow long socks?
Yes, so it's called the
Mustard.
Housey, their uniform, and it's this Tudor-style uniform they've worn since the 1500s. I mean, presumably, not the same ones. But
This is a weird coincidence.
Right.
Because this just as a little preamble. This week, me and my 10-year-old son watched School of Rock with Jack Black. And that's a good text in. Rhyming celebrity names, 8, 12, 15. Jack Black. And then you're struggling.
Yeah.
There was a Steve Naive who was in the backing group for
And we played on
Elvis Costello.
Jonathan Ross's show as well.
Yeah, he was one of the attractions. I think he was Naive, but Steve Naive, not like Jack Black. Anyway, so we watched that, and it's a brilliant film. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's brilliant. And then I said to Boz, why don't we... Oh, you'd love Tenacious D, that's Jack Black. So I said, there's that one, Beelzebub, when the devil's in it, you'll love it. It was on for 20 seconds. There was about 8 Class A swear words. And me, oh man, it was one of the... I couldn't... I'm like fumbling with the control. Gotta switch it off. But... Boz is a massive Kiss fan, I will get there, a massive Kiss fan, and the Kiss bass player is Gene Simmons, Long Tongue Blood. Gene Simmons did a reality show called School of Rock in which he went into a school.
And it was Christ's Hospital.
It was Christ's Hospital, and he built a rock band from all these kids in robes and things.
The band are a big deal there. They march everyone into lunch every day.
But it's not a brass band. He started, obviously.
No, it's a rock band.
Yeah. We'll come... Anyway, I want to know what happened to AB in CH.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
Barnesy.
Hello.
Barnsley's been talking about Christ's Hospital. Can I say, I've gone online to have a look at some of the alumni. And... I mean, it's pretty impressive, Frank. It's already kicked off with Samuel Taylor Coleridge and Samuel Richardson.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's old, then.
Oh, pretty old, yeah. 1500s, I think it goes back to.
There's a tale of Samuel Taylor Coleridge being so lonely and dejected at school that he used to go and sit on the roof at break times on his own.
Oh, a shame.
Okay. Sorry about that. I dragged it down a bit. I mean, I feel I can tell that story because of my own situation.
He's the loneliest man in the world.
Only internally. Anyway, How was
Yeah,
it?
it was really lovely. It's got a very nice theatre. I mean,
Do they have a lot of comedy gigs? Is it?
They do one every term, apparently. It's not for the students, it's for sort of people in the local area. But there's a couple of the sixth formers, I think, are allowed to come.
Yeah.
And a few parents, a few teachers. The head of classics was there. We had a bit of banter with the head of classics.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a beautiful. I mean, it's got a Hogwarts sort of vibe to it. The school, you know. And I find when I go into a place like that, the council estate girl in me just turns up to 11. Do you know what I mean? Like the posher the environment I'm in, the more common I am.
To be fair to him, it's not just about rich kids, is it?
No, it's
that
very
school?
much not. It's 75% of their students are bursary, apparently. So
Yeah.
that's what it was set up for.
So,
Yeah.
I learned, speaking of the classics teacher, I learnt an amazing classics fact, which I liked, which I suppose is also going back to Kiss and Gene Simmons in a way. Sappho, have you heard of Sappho?
The poet?
The poet, yeah.
Yes.
Famous
I know where she lived.
gay poet, yeah. And there's only a few tiny bits of her poetry left. She seems to be utterly amazing. And she played, she accompanied herself on the lyre,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And she invented something which Gene Simmons will have used on occasion. Can you get this? Sappho, famous gay poet of ancient Rome, invented the plectrum.
Wow.
Oh, strange facts. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
No,
Angela.
the gig was lovely. It was hosted by Ivo Graham, who,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're not aware of his work, is very at home in a posh school.
Yes. He went. I was going to say he went to the other place, but he didn't, as they call it. He went to the place.
Went to
didn't he?
the place.
What's
indeed.
the place?
So Eton boys call Harrow the other place.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he's
There
an
you go.
Etonian. isn't
He is indeed an Etonian, and he really lent into that. It was good fun. We really enjoyed ourselves. Yeah.
So it wasn't just you, it was like a...
It was like it was Ivo Graham, and it was me and Angelos Epithemiou.
Okay.
And there was quite a nice touch in the little room we were using as a dressing room. There was a plaque on the wall that said Barnes A on it. I thought that's quite a welcome. I've never had a welcome like
Oh,
that.
wow.
Turns out that's the name of one of their houses. It's called Barnes A.
Barnes A.
There you go.
They're slightly... That'll be named after something like...
John Barnes,
yeah, could be John
Yeah.
Barnes.
Yeah, it could be Barnes Wallace.
Barnes Wallace, yeah.
Yeah.
But wouldn't he have
Wouldn't it
been
be
upset
them-
that they wouldn't put the Wallace?
Drop the Wallace.
Perhaps they got a school policy about hyphenation.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
Barnes Wallace, in case you don't know, invented the bouncing bomb, ladies and gentlemen, for which the Dam Busters were famous. Okay. Well, apparently he skimmed the story is he skimmed a stone across a pond or something and thought, wouldn't it be brilliant if this was a bomb?
Great.
Yeah, we've all had those thoughts. What's going on? How can I get out of this link? This damn link. Help.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Anyway, what else is flooding in?
Michael Stone, a deviant work colleague of
Mike
my
Stone
father.
must die.
Do you
know that,
Mike
Angela?
Stone? Do you know that, Angela?
Mike Stone.
Mike
Frank
Stone
will
was
explain.
Priscilla Presley's karate instructor, and he ran away with her, and Elvis stormed around Graceland shouting, Mike Stone must die.
Wow.
Yeah.
A deviant work colleague of my father who used to bring Fray Bentos pies to work. It was the 1960s. Was known as Snake and Kidney.
Oh, they were lovely, those pies. In the circular tin.
It was a sort of hard tin, was it? I remember the
As
tin. Did it
opposed
have
to a soft tin.
Well, no, but what I mean is it had a ring pull. It was like a sort of sardines affair, wasn't it? Which is unusual for a pie. I think a pie and a hard outer is quite unusual.
I think you had to... you needed a tin opener with a Fray Bentos.
I bow to your knowledge, I've got to be
I
honest.
think that the Fray Bentos corned beef had the key.
Oh, the key. They're dangerous.
I'll be honest.
So
I've never had an FP.
Deaf Aids, Johnny Ray and Fray Bentos steak pies. Enjoying this, kids? Whatever happened to Lumbago. Anyway, you look very confused then. Have you heard of lumbago? Oh, the assistant producer, Faye, knows
doesn't know.
nothing of lumbago.
Bert's Lumbago. What song's that in?
Bert's lumbago.
Bert,
Sounds
that's the line
sounds
from-
like Blur.
Have I just...
Sounds like Blur
is
trying
that,
too
is
hard.
that a Kinks song? Something about...
It ought to be.
I'm going to have to Google that later.
We also have
Kinks.
the Reels Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
We named my ex-boss Paddington because of his hard stare.
Oh, gosh, I forgot Paddington's
he has a hard stare.
I love Paddington's hard stare.
And I think he slept on a hard stair at King's Cross Station.
He did, didn't he?
Probably where he got it from.
Yeah.
This is quite a nice sort of rubbish one. From 9482. We've got a mate called Sausages because he famously hid a pack of sausages at a barbecue.
What?
I've got questions.
Can I say that's a rubbish thing to hide at a barbecue, isn't it? I can understand why people hide beer at a party, but what are you going to do, eat raw sausages? Yes.
Yeah.
What's your favourite thing on a barbecue, Frank?
My favourite thing at a barbecue is...
If you're queuing up for the offering, and they've got the tongs poised, and they say, "Oh, what can I do you for?"
Yeah,
It's a
see,
barbecue,
I just want the burger with some of that cheese that's already cut rather than grated.
What's
You know,
that?
cheese that comes like a
Slice.
coaster.
Oh, yeah. The shiny cheese. Shiny
Yeah,
slices.
slightly plastic.
Yeah.
Shiny cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the best.
Interesting choice. I'm glad I know that about you.
What would yours be?
None of your business.
It'll be something like
Salmon.
a herring. Yeah.
Stop laughing at me. I would actually surprise you both
Okay.
by... I probably would go for a sausage. Saucy song.
How are you with the severely burnt offerings of many barbecues?
I live for them.
Yeah. People used to say it's quite dangerous eating the burnt
That's
stuff.
why I like to live on the edge.
Yeah, for me, it's just a bit of contrast in life. Bit of nice food and a bit of not so nice food. I'll tell you what I've started. I don't know if I have time to tell you. God,
The fez has come out.
why, there's so many things in between the chats on these shows. You can see why people go to LBC. I just can't cope with the right-wing politics.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
And,
Okay.
or as they say in Germany, und.
Oh, it sounds so much more confrontational.
Yeah, I suppose I added a bit of confrontation as soon as I said it in German.
I like that about you. Ultra Magnus,
Oh, yes.
you're familiar with his work. I had a Fray Bentos this week. It definitely needed a tin opener at the at the very least. As opposed to what?
How else? You're just ripping it apart
Machete.
with you.
That's a frustrating aspect of life when you get a tin opener that it just does the lap of honour. You know what I mean? It doesn't actually pierce.
Oh, yeah. Just sort of grooves slightly.
Sometimes the wheel bluntens.
I like grooves. What about when I had an ancient history teacher and she was talking about the wheels of ancient Rome and she was explaining them to us and it needed to get into the groove, as it were. And then she laughed at her little Madonna joke.
Oh, teachers don't do that.
Oh, don't do a joke.
Speaking
Can I
of...
say I love and respect all teachers?
Yeah.
No,
Well, not that strange bloke who teaches you for six, but everyone else.
well, that bloke who puts his hands up against the plate glass window. of the
I
school.
wasn't a teacher, I was a visitor.
Well, can I say, point of order, you were a teacher at one point in
I
your life.
was.
A very good one, I hear.
Well, if you ever try it, you'd have tremendous respect for the profession.
Oh, I
It's
do. I
much
couldn't
harder
even-
work than being a comedian.
I agree. I still didn't like the get into the groove joke. Ultra Magnus
Yeah.
continues, Frank, as well as a spoon. So, he said it needed a tin opener at the very
Class,
least.
yeah.
As well as a spoon and 2 knives. It took longer to open than it did to cook it.
What was he on?
What do you do with a spoon? It will do if you use a spoon to open a tin.
Is Ultra Magnus doing Taskmaster? Oh, that's the straight. Yeah, spoon. That's someone who's got in their head that they'll be using a spoon at some point during the pie attack. And they've gone early before it's unlidded.
Yeah, no, a spoon's not going to help you.
He's gone for he's even sent a picture of it, because he went for the all-day breakfast. Are you familiar with that?
In a can? The all-day breakfast in a can?
No, in the Fray Bentos.
There's a Fray Bentos pie, all-day breakfast.
I can see a couple of beans.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
No, I don't like the sound of that pie. I don't like breakfast in a pie.
Do you not? What about that can you see, all-day breakfast? Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, you could get a tin of all-day breakfast.
It's a fried breakfast in a tin.
In a tin.
I mean, let's go smoothie. Let's go the whole way.
I'm just not sure about... It's like, pot noodle, do a Christmas dinner. Pot noodle. Or
Well, there'll be
just making
someone
something...
out there, probably a great many of our listeners who are glad of that.
Oh dear.
I had a big family argument one Christmas and I stormed out and I realised all the shops were shut and there was no buses running. I eventually found the shop. My Christmas dinner was roast chicken crisps.
Oh,
that was it.
Not even turkey.
No, I don't think turkey crisps existed then. If they exist now, do
Actually,
they?
what about when I went round to Frank's on Box for Boxing Day lunch and he gave me a packet of poppadoms?
that traditional Boxing Day packet of poppadoms.
I liked it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone
I
was...
hope I gave you something else, did I?
No.
Oh,
Okay. Oh.
just poppadoms.
Yeah, I quite liked it.
Well, you know what they say, once you pop a dom, you can't stop it.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Oh, I like this woman, 033. Did you see that, Angela?
Oh, have I missed
Morning
her?
all. I'm named after a celebrity.
Yes, I did see. Lovely.
My name is...
Enya.
Oh, yeah, now that's one, you see, that's one that people are going to pick up on, isn't it? It's a nice name, though. It depends on your surname.
Well,
But I like Enya.
she continues, my dad was a big fan and listened to it on the way to visit my mum in hospital when she was having me to calm his nerves.
Oh. But it could have been worse. She could have ended up being called Orinoco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Enya is... it makes you think your life's going to be a bit mystical. Oh, it's going to be a bit like that.
It's a very sort of sixth form drama project.
Oh, harsh.
Do you know what I mean?
John Hopkins.
Hopkins?
I used to work in a warehouse with a bloke who, in a moment of weakness, told us all that he once sent in a drawing to take heart.
Oh,
For
yeah.
the next 4 years, he was known as Caravaggio, which is exceptionally highbrow for Chorley.
Yeah. No,
I like that they picked Caravaggio because, you know what? That's not a first thought. They didn't go for Picasso or they didn't go for... I would say... Would that be the first thought? I think it would be Picasso, Leonardo da Vinci, one of those. They didn't go for a turtle, basically.
I had an idea for a reality show about artists.
Oh, here we go.
No, seriously, called Keeping Up with the Caravaggios. And it was about people trying to strive for... I think there is a seaside resort which is basically sort of owned by Saga. Mm. And Mr. Saga bought a road and just gave the houses cheap rent to artists, so he's created an artist quarter just like that. Yeah,
it's like Michael Owen buying the street for his family.
It's a bit different.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I feel a bit scared.
That was mainly a gambling den.
Oh, excuse me, I'm a big fan of the Owens, as you well know. Frank, can I tell you something that happened to me this week? I will. Yes. I was on a train travelling to Manchester.
Okay.
I had my seat reserved. I just want to know what you two think of this.
Okay.
I had my seat reserved, 7K I believe it was, or K7, either will do. I had Ray with me. He always comes with me when I'm working now. No Ray, no me. They know the rules. Anyway, I get into the carriage. I look at 7K. There's a man sitting in 7K.
Was it very busy or?
Yes.
Okay.
The man had his face slightly to the window. I could see there were 2 spare seats, but I thought I need to put it out there that is my seat, should these fill up.
Yeah.
So I said, excuse me, I'm just looking here and I think I'm in 7K. And he turned round and it was Simon Rimmer, the Sunday brunch chef presenter.
Okay.
And he said, or as I call him, 7K.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, this is my seat.
Oh, did he have the ticket?
Well, we'll get to that.
Oh.
We'll get to that. Now, I quite liked Rimmer for that because it was very bold. He was very assertive. He
That
just
depends.
said,
Depends how this unfolds, whether I like him for it.
he said, this is my seat. I said, oh. I didn't say oh, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I thought at this point, this is when the evidence comes out.
Let's leave it there because this seems to be like in the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Here comes the £500,000 question. We'll find out whether you've got it after this break.
Okay.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Angela Barnes. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk.
Just had a lovely review in from from Alan, we should call him, of Three Lions. Three Lions Xmas song. He calls it Decent Nostalgia Feels.
Okay.
Ah,
Decent.
decent, lovely.
Now, where were we, Frank?
Well, you were about to decide between you and Rimmer of the Year, Simon Rimmer, whether he should be sitting in 7K.
Would you? Yeah.
Was it K7?
Well, I don't know, Angela. You strike me as a trained professional.
I think it'd be 7K.
I think it's 7K. I think
Should we
it's
stick
number
with
first.
7K?
Yeah, okay.
So, just to recap for anyone who missed
Yes.
the earlier episode, I had produced my phone. I'd sort of waved it around.
Oh, it's the ticket on the phone.
The ticket on the phone,
Yeah.
the QR code, we thought they wouldn't take off. We were wrong. And I sort of waved it as evidence
Yeah.
in a sort of your witness fashion. Mm-hmm. But I'd adopted a slightly passive-aggressive voice. I said, oh, that's weird, because, it's really odd, because I'm 7K. It says here.
Yeah.
And there was a woman sitting between me and Rimmer. She responded. Rimmer didn't. He'd said initially, this is my seat, as you know.
Yeah.
And then the woman said, oh, that's strange, isn't it? Not a word from Rimmer.
Okay.
Not a word from Rimmer. So I said it again. I said, yeah, don't worry, because there's another seat I can sit on here, but I just can't work out. What I wanted, habeas corpus, produce something for me to have a look
exactly.
at.
Yeah.
Rimmer looked over, he said, no, this is my seat. Oh,
See,
Rimmer.
No, not having that.
That's not good
I used to
enough.
like him.
Yeah.
I do. But you know what? He said, no, it is my seat. I quite liked it. Listen. So in the end, I felt, okay, to the victor the spoils. Because of his confidence,
Yeah,
I
but
backed down.
There's confidence, and I couldn't even be bothered to prove the validity of my argument.
There's confidence and there's entitlement.
Well, although,
and I think that was
listen.
entitlement.
Oh, I'm going to be Rimmer's defender here, and I'll tell you why. I feel he does that journey a lot. I could tell that because the train inspector came round and they were talking about the match, and he's a regular. So maybe he does always sit in 7K, and he feels, in a way, it is his
but
seat.
it's not like Grandad's chair, is it? If it's on a public transport. Come on. I always sit here. What do you mean you always sit here?
Well, then you should have booked it, shouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want to try doing.
Maybe he did. And look, they could have got it wrong. If anyone works on a train and that does happen, it might have happened.
A double book.
It might have been. What do you say to the double booking? What say you?
Well, I was on Eurostar, and there was. I said to this guy, "Hey, that's my seat," and he said, "There's plenty of seats."
Oh.
And I said, "Yeah, but that's my seat.
Oh.
You're sitting in my seat. Why are you sitting in my seat if there's plenty of seats?"
Yeah.
And he said, God, don't believe this. He said, I've been travelling on trains for 35 years. And I said, surely you should have reached your destination by now. And a bloke behind really burst out laughing, which made him even angrier. But I honestly, if he'd have pulled out a automatic rifle, I would not have gone away from. I was going to sit in that seat. No, and I was with my partner, and she was doing that tug in the sleeve. She's going, "There's other seats." No.
Not the point.
There is other seats, but they're not mine.
Yeah.
Anyway, he moved.
You had a bit of a rimmer.
I just think that is just arrogance. If someone comes and says, that is my seat, but it's fine, or something like that, I'll move so someone can sit next to their friend, but I'm not having that.
Okay. Oh.
No.
Okay. Well, I decided not to have beef with Rimmer, as it were.
No, very wise. I've had beef with Rimmer. It's very chewy. Yeah, Saturday morning kitchen, that's who you want to have beef with.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Ruth Jordan, got to admire Rimmer's confidence. I've had the same season ticket at a popular Midlands football ground, make your own jokes, for nearly 30 years, and yet I still feel the need to check my ticket if someone arrives insisting it's their seat for a game.
I just think it's, I think it's called, begins with P, police, Pilates, Pelham 1, 2, 3. Politeness. That's what it's called. I must admit, he's gone down in mine.
Yeah, it shocked me.
I mean, I don't want to hate on the Rimmer, but it was surprising.
But
Then he didn't know.
On the celebrity encounter front, I did the one show this week.
How was it?
With David Baddiel. He's not the celebrity I'm bringing up.
That's a bit hot.
There was two other celebrities who joined us. Gabrielle Union.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, this is my point. A man who for years I've been calling Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
It's Gyllenhaal.
Oh, you didn't get it wrong to his face.
Well, happily, as he was brought... I mean, I called him Jake. I decided not to adopt a sort of public score. And what say you, Gyllenhaal? There was none of that. So it's Gyllenhaal. Or Jake. Jake? Is it Jake Gyllenhaal? Anyway, he was
he's not a hard G.
No. Anyway, he's very friendly and...
Lovely, handsome boy.
I had to say, Dave completely won. He owned me on the one show.
What did he do?
Well, first of all, they had the Children in Need feature, which is always very sort of slightly heartbreaking and moving and inspiring. But they were all building this special, pleasure room that was built by the kids for the kids, which is a brilliant thing. But it was filled with David Baddiel's books, which he never warned me and donated to them. So, of course, he starts off with rose petals scattered on him by the presenters for his generosity. I'm sitting there at the end. What have I given him? Nothing. And then Jake and Gabrielle comes on. Jake. And they're talking about they're just done a new Disney cartoon, and they're talking about the art of voicing over animation. Oh. So then Dave says, my wife is Mommy Pig. Oh man, they're blown away by this information.
Are they?
What have I got? Nothing. I thought of saying, my partner is the voice of Doom. I mean, just generally around the house, not in any professional capacity.
Yes, because Peppa Pig is quite big in America, isn't it?
Oh, man, Gabrielle was saying in my house that...
Well, there was a thing in the newspapers a little while ago about how Americans were complaining that their toddlers all suddenly have British accents from watching Peppa Pig, which I think is lovely.
It's about time for a bit of payback, isn't it? I was talking like a Wild West old-timer till I was 14. I don't want to go to school today, Sheriff. Oh, man.
So,
anyway, he was nice, Jake, as was Gabrielle. Yeah.
And so what did you have to offer? Surely
nothing.
You could have...
I had nothing. I hadn't given any free books to children in need, and I'm not related to anyone who's done exciting animation voice work.
I mean, to be fair, your books aren't really suitable for children,
Well, I
are
did
they?
make that point, and that
Yeah.
went down like a lead balloon, as anything slightly grown up on the one show does.
Oh, does
I
it?
said I would have given some more, but I don't want the police raiding, and that was
Did
like,
they
yeah, well,
laugh?
anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
We'll move on now, shall we? You know what it's like? The one show is like the very last bastion of decency decency at its most, like ridiculously decent. So, there's no reality on the one show. Thank you very much. Yeah, anyway, I got through it, but, oh, man, Dave owned me.
I got through it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I tell you what, we have this thing, it's a sort of continuity idea that we like to, because a lot of people listen to the show on podcasts, is to go back to references to things from last week's show, for example, and see what people have added to that. Well, I've got a jingle for this section of the show. See what you think of this.
Previously on this show.
What do you think?
Nice.
Yeah, it's to get the clangers to do backing vocals. For her to phone their agent.
Who's doing the
That was
previously on
made
this
by
show?
Sarah Bishop, our producer, with no input from me. It's just arrived randomly. What do you think of this as a jingle?
I love. Who's the lovely voice saying previously on this show?
Is that you, Sarah?
No, it's me.
It's you saying
Emily
it.
did.
Well,
You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, I
That's a
did.
lovely
100%
voice.
knew.
Let's hear it one more, because I hadn't picked up on that.
Previously on this show.
Oh, I can hear it now.
I sound a bit
Did you
like
phone it in from a phone box? That's what it sounds like.
my
I thought-
10p ran out.
I thought it was a very old extract from Listen with Mother. BBC, sort of the home service. And now... Anyway,
I think I sound quite Love and Boundaries. More on the boundaries, but,
look, it's good. Anyway,
Okay.
what is on the previously menu?
Previously on last week's show, would you remember we were discussing Jill Scott's coffee shop? Proposed coffee shop. Do you want to just refresh our
Yeah,
readers?
Jill Scott is currently on I'm a Solariac. Get me out of here. Just keeping in mind, we have a lot of vegan listeners. And I have to say, I was loving Jill Scott. And then she said, we're going to do a song, what we like, what the lionesses like doing. And they did Sweet Caroline.
Oh.
So I thought, you know
that's
what,
got
I'm not
her.
sure. I've gone off Jill a bit.
Oh, Frank.
But anyway, Jill's got a coffee shop with her partner, and it's called Box to Box because she's that kind of a midfielder. I mean, she worked hard, Angela. Again, you're
Right.
looking confused.
Yeah.
A lot of running. She runs from our penalty box to their penalty and then back again. And
God, it's a box to
with tremendous stamina. I believe she was a long distance runner as a teenager. Anyway,
Oh, yeah, I can see that. So,
we weren't up. We didn't think Box to Box was good
It
enough.
hasn't got any coffee sort of connotations, really, has it?
exactly. There you go.
not
You
a
see.
pun.
Here you go.
it's just, it could have done with some workshopping. Unfortunately, that's what we're here for. Because you may know, Angela, Frank loves to give a little bit of advice. He often does it to comics after a gig. I've met a number of people he's gone up to.
Yeah, I've
and
tried
said,
to stop that.
yeah, I like that. I just
You've
had a few
never done
thoughts.
that to me, but I don't know. That makes me think now maybe you just thought I was just a lost cause.
No,
Just not worth the
Who
I
did you
thought
do
there
it
was
to?
why gild the lily. That's what I thought.
You have got, who's been in your, who have you given advice to,
Oh,
Frank?
too many.
Yeah, I know a
people.
few.
I once suggested that Tim Key dressed as a baked bean for the encore.
He told,
It was all in context.
Did you take that advice?
No.
No.
he also went up to Andrew Lloyd Webber and gave him a bit of advice for the curtain call.
I thought the curtain call was a bit mistimed.
And can you just tell
What
Angela
I said
briefly
to him,
what
I
you
said,
said
can I
and what-
just, this was at the opening night, I said, can I just say one thing I thought would make the show better? He said, oh, please don't.
Not often I say this, but I think I'm Team Lloyd Webber in that one.
Yeah. It wasn't like I was going to say, yes, someone else should have written it.
Yeah.
All right.
He's done so many. He's got so many. Ross Noble.
Oh, really?
Ross said, oh, yeah, last time I saw Frank, you gave me a bit of advice, Sam. I went, oh, I'm so sorry.
But, you think, oh, you could have gone to so-and-so there, and then you think, I mean,
Yeah, you think. Do you know what I mean?
think,
You
you're
think,
right.
okay.
You shouldn't say.
Yeah. Good.
For the record, I welcome advice, for, constructive
There you
criticism
go.
from comedians I respect, not from randoms on Twitter.
No, no, you don't want that kind of advice. Okay, I'll see. Well, maybe we can talk at the end of the show.
Oh, here we go.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we were talking about Jill Scott's coffee shop. And we've got some suggestions, haven't we, Ange?
Yeah,
for-
there's some really good ones in here. There's so her Matthew Hartness has got Bean Me Up Scotty.
Oh,
That's nice,
See, I
isn't it?
like the reference, but I wish there's a bit of football in it.
I suppose, yeah.
Okay, well, continue
do
to
that.
wish. Graham Cardy.
Yeah,
Oh, I like him.
yeah.
Bit David Baddiel's Christmas. It's coming home for Christmas. Graham Cardy, Jill's got coffee. Jill's got coffee. He's handily put in parenthesis, Jill's got coffee. My only issue is when anything requires parenthesis, think again.
Oh, that's an interesting life maxim you've got there. And
There's a very football-y one. Here we are. This is my favourite. At Dental73 has come up with Cafe Ole, 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 Ole.
oh, but how long's the sign going to be?
Pretty long.
Very long, it turns
But
out.
but it is good. I like that one.
Got all the elements.
And it requires an exclamation point at the end. Which is a bit,
Yeah,
it's a
but
bit chef exclamation
you
mark, like
you
some
anti
drama.
that as well as parentheses. I mean, what is this? So you're really down on punctuation this morning. What's wrong with you? You used to love it.
Now, Mr. Butler,
He exclaimed.
Mr. Butler,
Oh God! Oh, I hate you, Butler. Yeah, okay.
Mr. Butler
Yeah.
has said she should have opened a rival chai shop and called it the Chioness. Over to you, Frank Skinner.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
What would the S have been? Because really you want it to be chai and S. Sort of un S.
Chai and soup. No, that's
Sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah, yeah. Now that's good. I mean, try out her. It's in Wythenshawe in Manchester, so check it out.
Is
I have
it?
to say, apart from her Neil Diamond slip, she's been lovely. I hope she wins it.
He doesn't like it when people, it's like, I understand that, Frank. It's just how much of a percentage, Frank, would you say goes off them? 7?
11.
Okay.
7-Eleven, that'd be a good name. If it was open from... Oh, right. Will you write that down? What do you
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean it's been done?
Does it exist still, 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven. I don't know.
Anyway, what else is in our previously document?
Previously on this show.
Who is this?
Well, we've got a few areas. Do you remember we were talking about the current celebrity horse?
Oh, yes. In case you didn't hear it, Angela, the idea was that there isn't a celebrity horse at the moment, like Arkle or Red Rom,
Alderney.
Mr. Red, Champion, Fury,
And we were saying horses.
Black Beauty, obviously.
Yeah, come on. I mean, that was the original. But we had horses. They used to be a much bigger deal. They were kind of a big deal, and they were sort of, you'd get, all the supermodels were there,
Yeah.
and then you'd get the horse named as well at the premiere. Now there'd be gossip about them, not so much.
No, you're right. There isn't, is there?
They've lost their currency.
So?
Bojack,
Graham
that's the
Leonard,
only-
Yes.
still champion, never surpassed.
Still champion the Wonder
A
Horse.
wonder horse.
Oh,
I don't know. Is
Meanwhile-
anyone under 30?
no. I'm going to ask, did you know Champion the Wonder Horse girls? They have
Okay.
just shaking their heads.
A bit like a horse does.
Exactly. What if they've
No.
both gone?
Elisa McCormick,
Yes.
I mean, I like her because she's thinking, no, you come up to my level. She said Vallegro, champion dressage horse ridden by Charlotte Dujardin. Super famous.
I beg to differ.
I love that. Confidence is a great thing. It's very admirable. But no, sorry.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
We've got some, just to return to the new world, the brave new world. Linda Denningen has got in touch, Frank. When my youngest brother was born, Dad came home from visiting the maternity ward, and when we asked what our new brother looked like, he said Bod. 55 years later, he's still known as Bod by everyone. Do you remember Bod?
Bod, the Farmer Barney Moe, and
Bod was a children's TV character, was he?
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
like
picture him.
a little cartoon. It's
Sort of
triangle
stick man.
shaped.
Yeah, it's triangle shaped. Lovely.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like a worrying description of your child. Yeah, it's like a triangle-shaped thing. Oh.
I like this one from 766. Says, "Hi Frank and team. My dad worked with a man called Minty because he only came in after 8."
Oh, gosh. There's lots of these about how people work, isn't there? Have you noticed?
Yeah. There's this one is someone my friend went to school with was called Campbell Baxter, so he was known as Two Soups.
Oh,
That's good.
I
That's
like
good,
it too.
isn't it?
And then we've got Lucian Sanchez, 82. Brian. Apparently, I look like a Brian to my new co-workers at a new job.
So that's it.
That's it.
Brian. I mean, I think that's not. I think great.
Yes, why should we be limited by the birth certificate?
Yeah. Rachel, in the 90s, just to go on onto another topic we're coping with, I suppose, this morning, which is Fray Bentos. Rachel says in the 90s, the laundrette by me had Fray Bentos tins as ashtrays.
That's
They were the
beautiful.
perfect size. I mean, broken Britain for you there. I love that.
We haven't had one rhyming celebrity, am I right?
Well, we had Evil Knievel, somebody
Oh,
tweeted. I can't
very
remember who
good.
now, but
That's
somebody
very
did
good.
tweet in Evil Knievel.
Lovely.
God, that took a bit of finding. It was like looking for a Knievel in a haystack.
Hey!
What was his real name?
I
Lee
think it
Mack
was.
told me that because he's rather obsessed by
Is
it.
it Jeff Knievel?
No, it's something like Roger Knievel or something.
Was he a Knievel?
I don't know. Lee
I
Mack
don't.
knows this. He's obsessed by
Well,
it.
he's not here, Lee Mack.
Oh, okay, don't be jelly bags.
Lee Mack is hosting the Royal Variety performance, at which we are performing
Lovely,
Three
Mac.
Lions. Can you believe?
How
So if I don't manage to wangle a ticket to that.
I built Dave's hopes up because we had a Zoom with the people from the variety show, and I said I think they're going to offer lip sync. Dave was, and then they said, "Oh no, we want you to do it live."
Did they?
Cruel fate took a hand. Anyway, they'll be sorry. That moment. I mean, I sort of come in on the first note, you know.
I mean, you've got to ease us in. Of course you come in first. We've got to ease us in.
I know, but even so, having to hit that note, there's always, you'll notice on the note, if I hit the note, a little sparkle comes into my eyes. Oh, well, I'm all right now. Otherwise, it's kind of, I'm doing a bit of searching. You know, we're not singers.
No.
Anyway, that's that. And Angela, it's lovely as ever to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in. And you know what? Thank you lot for listening. If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.